It's the beginning of a brand new year, which means it's the perfect time to set yourself goals to help you grow, thrive, and deliver in your HR role. But I know that it doesn't always feel easy to come up with goals that you feel excited about and that will really make an impact for your career. So today I'm sharing my triple win framework with you that is made up of 3 different types of goals that are going to set you up for success this year. Welcome back. If you're a regular listener or watcher of the show, it is always wonderful to have you here. And if you're new to HR Coffee Time, welcome to you as well. I'm your host, Fay Wallis. I'm a creator of products and services to help HR and people professionals have successful and fulfilling careers, which include this HR Coffee Time podcast, the Essential HR Planner, and the Inspiring HR Leadership Program. But that's enough about me. Let's go back to focusing on you and taking a look at the triple win framework, where we're going to explore the 3 different goals that are going to set you up for success this year. The very first type of goal is one that focuses on a key area that you have influence over as an HR or people professional. If you have a copy of the Essential HR Planner, you'll see that there is a page where I list all of these different things. I may not have captured all of them, but hopefully I have. And if you don't have a copy of the Essential HR Planner, then please don't worry. I will read out some of the things that are on that list for you so you can get a sense of what it is that I'm talking about here. So some of the things that you are likely to have influence over as an HR or people professional or as part of the HR or people team are things like this. So benefits and rewards, corporate governance, culture, data and analytics, employee communications, employee engagement, employee experience, employee voice, employment law, equity, diversity and inclusion, human resources information system, or HRIS for short, induction and onboarding, learning and development, leadership development and support, management development and support, offboarding, organization design and development, pay gap reporting, policies and procedures, recognition, redundancies, reward, succession planning, strategic planning, talent acquisition, talent management, wellbeing, and workforce planning. Oh gosh, I'd only meant to read out a few of them, but I seem to have read pretty much the whole thing. There's also on this page a picture of the employee life cycle in case you're more of a visual person than a reading list kind of person. So when you're considering this goal, this very first one that you're going to set for yourself, if me reading out that list of different areas hasn't really sparked any ideas, then sometimes looking at the employee life cycle or just thinking about it can help you come up with some ideas. So things that I have on the employee life cycle, there are actually 9 things that I've got marked on here are attraction, recruitment, onboarding, development, life events, because of course, the way that we respond as an organization to the different things that happen in people's lives has a huge impact on them and the way that they feel about the organization they work in. Retention, reward, separation, and alumni. So you can see there's some crossover there between the 2 different things. And if you're thinking, okay, Faye's just read me out a whole list of words, this isn't really helping with my goal, I'll give you a little bit more context to it and share a bit more about my thinking behind it. So there will be things that you know could be improved within your organization. Just from me reading through the list of all those things, it may have sparked some ideas, or you may have been thinking, well, we're pretty good on some of those things actually, Faye, or oh gosh, yes, there are a few things there that we could probably do better with. What I would really encourage you to do at this point is, if you have got access to your organization strategy, take a look at it. If your organization doesn't have a strategy, a lot of them don't, then please don't worry, that's absolutely fine. If it does have a strategy, then take a look and think about, if these are the goals for the organization I work in, this is the organization strategy, this is what it's trying to achieve. How could it really help the organization to succeed if I was to laser in on one of these key areas and work out how we can make it better? So, for example, if you're working in an organization that has got big expansion plans, it really wants to grow, it might be thinking about merging with other organizations or doing a huge amount of recruitment, then some of the things that you might decide you're going to focus on are onboarding or talent acquisition or recruitment, depending on whatever you call that. Or it could be that, the organization has to make cost savings. It wants to become leaner, more efficient, which means people are going to, unfortunately, lose their jobs. Always a worst case scenario, I think, when you're working in HR. In that case, you're going to think about, right, how can we manage these redundancies as successfully as possible to really make sure that people are being supported and that they're going to be able to move on to new roles with confidence and to think well of the organization that they're leaving. So that's just two different examples. I know that they're different extremes. It could well be that your organization strategy is something totally different to that, but I'm just sharing those examples to help bring this idea to life. If your organization doesn't have a clear strategy, then take a look. Is there an HR or people strategy? And if so, what are the key things that your people director or chief people officer or HR director, depending on whatever they're called, what are the key things that they have set out in that strategy they want the people function to be delivering on? In which case, it's going to make a lot of sense for you to laser in on something that is going to support their idea to succeed, because not only are you doing something or focusing on a goal that hopefully is going to be interesting for you, it's going to be enjoyable for you, hopefully it's a bit of a stretch as well so that you're developing and growing as a professional, but also it's likely to be received really positively by your director and by the organization, by the senior leadership team, because they can see how incredibly helpful it is and how strategic it is, because it's aligned with their goals and plans. It might be that you are the person who's responsible for creating the people or the HR strategy. And if that's the case, then again, I really hope that this exercise, just thinking about these areas of influence, can help you decide, right, which ones should we laser in on to help the organization be successful? And my big tip here is not to pick too many things, because as soon as you start trying to focus on lots of different areas, it can start to feel like you're wading through treacle. It's really hard to make an impact in lots of different areas all at once. So just try and limit yourself here. And once you've chosen the area that you want to focus on, that is going to make up the basis of your first goal from the Triple Win framework. Now, there's a whole other section of the planner that helps you think through your goal in detail, but I'm not going to talk about that now because it would make this episode far too long. Let's just focus today instead of thinking top line, what other things you're going to be focusing on. So first of all, it's that key area of HR influence you're going to choose for your first goal. The second type of goal that I'd love to recommend you set yourself as part of the Triple Win framework is a goal that focuses on a career-enhancing skill that you'd like to develop. And if you're thinking, what on earth is Fay talking about? There are certain skills that are going to really help you succeed in your career, which aren't specific to working in HR or people. These are skills that help everyone across all professions, and you may have heard them referred to by different names, but I like the title career-enhancing skills. So these are things like business acumen, coaching, and I've actually written, so this whole list that I'm reading you now, this list is also in the Essential HR Planner, so you can take a look at it in there. But just in case you haven't got a copy of the planner, I'm going to read them all out to you as well. But I have 3 different types of communication skills that I've mentioned in here, and they are written, oral, and company-wide. Because again, when you have an HR or people career, you often have to communicate not just on a one-to-one basis, you also have to communicate on a company-wide basis. So, for example, let's say you need to convince everyone to complete the engagement survey, or you need to convince them to complete their annual appraisal. And you mainly do that through written communications, and the results you've been getting so far could be better. Then if that's the case, then that is something you might want to focus on for setting yourself this second type of goal. Other things that are on the list are collaboration, conflict resolution, creativity, decision-making, emotional intelligence, facilitation, giving and receiving feedback, industry and sector knowledge. Now, when I put industry and sector knowledge in here, that is because if you really want to be strategic and commercial, be taken very seriously, something that can really help you with that is to focus on learning as much as you can about the industry or the sector that you're working in, because then you'll be able to spot opportunities for making improvements. You'll be able to better understand challenges that are coming up that are going to apply for the organization that you work in, because they're happening to everyone in the organization. So that's another thing to think about. Other things that are on the list are influencing, innovation, leadership, leveraging AI. That is new to the list for this year. I've been creating the planner for 6 years, and that's the first time I've put that one in there. Networking, people management, planning, problem solving, process improvement, project management, public speaking, resilience, negotiation, strategic thinking, and time management. Oh gosh, that was a long list. Now, with all of those things, if it feels a bit daunting, it may be that you've known for a while. It could be a good idea for you to focus on improving with one of these skills, but you're just not really sure how, then I have a whole collection of HR Coffee Time episodes to help. They don't cover every single one of the things on that list, but they do cover a huge number of them. So I don't think I can really do an episode on industry and sector knowledge, because of course, you watching or listening may work in a completely different industry or sector to the next person who listens to this episode or watches this episode. But all the other ones that I've mentioned, I have tried my absolute best to make sure that I've covered them on the show before. So if one of these skills has leapt out at you as something you'd like to work on, then I'd really recommend that you hop back and listen to the episode that I've created that can help you with that. And what I'll do is I will pop a link. I have actually put all of those episodes into a collection for you, which is called a podcast playlist. And I'll pop a link to that playlist in the show notes, and I'll also put it in the YouTube description. But I know it can be tricky to find the show notes or the YouTube description sometimes. If you have any problems finding it at all, please do feel free to just get in touch with me, and I'll be really happy to share it with you. You can either comment on the YouTube video, you can send me a message on LinkedIn. I'm there as myself, Fay Wallis. So that's Fay without an E on the end, and Wallis is Wallis. Or you can send me a message through the contact form on my website, which is brightskyhr.co.uk, because I really want to make sure that you have that resource to help. But hopefully, having heard me talk through that list, it sparked some ideas for what you could really focus on for that second goal that's going to help you really thrive and improve. And it's so rewarding when you invest the time in lasering in on a skill that's going to make a big difference. There are so many of those skills that I've had to laser in on over the years. The one I always find the most difficult is business acumen. That's a constant challenge for me, but you'll probably have a different one that may be the challenge for you. So anyway, now that we've taken a look at that second type of goal that makes up the triple win framework, let's move on to the final one. The third and final goal type that I would love to encourage you to set may or may not surprise you. And this is to set yourself a goal that focuses on your well-being. Because working in HR, it can be a very emotionally draining role, especially if you're having to support people who are going through difficult times at work or in their life outside of work. It can also be an incredibly busy role. And because you may well be a very caring person, someone who cares about making sure everyone else around them is okay, someone who's very committed to their work and professional and sets high standards for themselves, that means that, unfortunately, the downside of that is that it can end up impacting on your mental and physical well-being. So for the very first time for the Essential HR Planner, I have created an activity which is called Boosting Your Well-being. And I'd love your feedback about this if you decide to give this a try for setting your own well-being goal. Of course, you can set a well-being goal in whatever way you like, whatever feels best for you. The idea of this episode is just to get you thinking about this triple win framework and how you can take it and you can run with it. But some of the things that I've listed in the wellbeing goal setting page are things like this: movement, so How often are you taking regular exercise or movement breaks? Rest? How much time are you having for sleep, downtime, and mental recovery? Connection? Are you making time with friends and family who lift you up? Nutrition? Are you making healthy food and drink choices? Joy? Doing things just because they make you happy instead of being completely focused on serious things all the time? Boundaries? Are you setting limits, or is that something you'd like to do to protect your well-being and focus? Or are you saying yes to everything all the time at work when it would be better for you to start saying no? Nature? Are you getting outside, or could you be getting outside to refresh and recharge? Gosh, that's something that I know really helps me, and something I'm very grateful to my 2 little dogs for, because I have them, it means that I have to go out and walk them. And in fact, if you watch the video version of this podcast, you may see they make guest appearances in the background sometimes, because they love coming and lying on the sofa that's right behind me when I record this episode. And then finally, I also included financial well-being. And on there, I've written managing money with confidence and control, because we're living in expensive times, and I know that that is something that can cause a lot of stress as well. That brings us to the end of this HR Coffee Time episode. I really hope you found it helpful. As a very quick reminder, the 3 types of goals that I've encouraged you to set for yourself this year as part of my triple win framework are a goal that focuses on a key area of influence that you have as an HR or people professional, a goal that focuses on developing a career-enhancing skill, and finally, a goal that focuses on your well-being. I'd love to know how you get on with your goal setting. Please do let me know. And if you've got any questions, always feel free to ask. I am always happy to hear from you and to help answer any questions that you have. If you have a friend or colleague that you think would really benefit from listening to this episode, please do share it with them and encourage them to have a listen or have a watch. You can share the link or take a screenshot and send it through, or put a post on LinkedIn about it. I would love to reach as many HR and people professionals as possible with this free fortnightly show, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate your help in spreading the word about it. Thank you so much. And I hope that today, listening to this or watching this helps set you up for a fantastic year.